with they bitch asses. Ancient monuments of the Mississippi Valley. And so all we're going to do now is just look at all these trash freaking monuments, all these dirt piles of dirt. Now this is trash. A perfect fucking circle with a canal. A perfect circle with a canal 1.5 miles to the Ohio River. Imagine seeing what this looked like when it was built and in current use. We have a canal that goes around the center of a mound and then flows 1.5 miles to the Ohio River. In the book, Ancient Monuments of the Mississippi Valley, most of the earthworks that were documented in the book were in Ohio because the Ohio mounds were basically the most undisturbed mounds. Because most of the mounds in the east had already been wiped out and or completely destroyed, as well as a lot of the mounds along the Mississippi. But in the Ohio Valley, many of these mounds were undisturbed. That's where they get a lot of this from. As I mentioned earlier, Marietta, Ohio, built over an ancient metropolis, is actually a subject of discussion in this book. Ancient Works of Marietta, Ohio, page 73 out of the Ancient Monuments of the Mississippi Valley. Quote, the works consist of 2 irregular squares, one containing 40 acres area and the other about 20 acres, in connection with a graded or covered way and sundry mounds and truncated pyramids, the relative positions of which are shown in the plan. The town of Marietta is laid out over them, and in the progress of improvement, the walls have been considerably reduced and otherwise much obliterated. And this was back in the day when they wrote it. They had already obliterated the walls. Oh. Another earthwork in Ohio is the Newark earthworks. So the interesting thing about these earthworks is this is where the Holy Stone was found. Both the Keystone and Decalogue Stone are inscribed in Hebrew. The Decalogue Stone also bears the image of Moses. This controversial finding infers that these ancient Indians were descendants of the lost tribes of Israel. What? The 10 whom were said to have been deported after Israel's conquest by the Neo-Assyrian Empire in 722 BCE. You see what they do? What they had to do was they had to superimpose that these were the ones who got deported to Assyria. But we know who got deported to Assyria. And since then, archaeologist after historian, after anthropologist have tried to debunk the Newark Holy Stones. They can't do it. It's legit. It's so legit, they keep hiring niggas to try to debunk it, even on TV. And the top charlatans can't debunk it. Well, it seems to be legit. It's just out of place.
So the box in itself took an awful lot of work. I mean, if it was really a forgery, you wouldn't go to all that much trouble to make a box for it. So I think that speaks to its authenticity, that someone really this was very important to someone.
This is a lot of work, and it's polished. It's got the detailing of the grooves. It wasn't made, as far as I can tell, from modern machinery. Geologically, I don't see any problems here that would make these things obvious hoaxes. So the skeptics have rejected this.
Well, that's been a factor, but Hebrew is an odd thing to find here.
The fact that it's odd doesn't mean that it's not genuine. What it boils down to is really the problem with these artifacts is that the academics don't like them because they don't fit the paradigm. And unfortunately for them, you can't dismiss things simply because you don't like them.
Right.
And so the evidence to me seems clear. There's no reason not to accept these as genuine, legitimate artifacts.
Oh, it's out of place. It doesn't make sense. We can't, it's got to be fake, okay? It's got to be fake. Even though no one had the information or knowledge to fake such a thing. Who faked it? Who knew the language before you knew the language?
And it's like what? People been having boats and taking trips on boats forever, man. Shit.
You're telling me you found something that you couldn't translate until you learned how to...
And man, don't even get me started. You get the picture.
...do it. Who were the original authors? And it's always they came from Israel to over here. You see how they slide in the reverse fuckery? Oh yeah, they came from over there. Well, they just came from over there and nobody knew about it. Imagine what else has been found in those mounds and is still being hidden. Make sure you check out the book Ancient Monuments of the Mississippi Valley. And most of the good shit that they found, they're still hiding. They're still concealing that information.